Okay, in this video today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the secret to making as much money as you want. I'm serious, to making as much money as you want. Now, this is the caveat for it, though, is that none of us want to and have to and need to make all of the money in the world. That's why you have some people who are happy with making $10,000 a month. Some people are only happy with making $1 million a month or 10 million a month. But really, let me tell you the secret is that it's not about the amount of money that they make. That's the end result of the things that they do. But there's this thing that I want to reveal to you, and you've probably seen it before. You've probably seen this demonstration before, but I would probably bet on that you've never had anyone apply it to real life circumstances, a real life situation, to show you from how this is a secret to being able to get rich if you understand this. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with a demonstration. This was a scientific demonstration about synchronization. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to show you an example of a real life person actually doing synchronization with a big group of people. I'm going to explain it to you and how this is done to you all the time. It's done to all of us all the time. But if you're not financially where you want to be, then you're only in the group that is being synchronized. You're not in the group that benefits. And when I say benefits, because I think everyone can benefit, but the ultimate goal is for you to benefit financially. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. And I'm about to show you video number 1 about a scientific example, live experiment of synchronization. And then I'm going to go into video number 2, and I'm going to show you a live video of synchronization that's actually done by an individual. Okay, now what I just showed you is something that is how our whole entire universe is built. It's built on synchronization. And that no matter what we do as individuals, no matter what we have as products, services, everything, is that it automatically, universally synchronizes. That's why if you look at us cooking food, you look at us driving a car, why does you got the pedal, you got the brake, you got the lights, like everything is working its way to perfect synchronization. But stuff starts off where it's not synchronized, and then as we move through, we call this improvement. We call this upgrades. That's what we would naturally call it. But really what it is that it's the universe seeking to get itself perfect, whatever is being created in the universe. Now, what I want you to be aware of, which when I became more aware of this, is that it actually answered a question with me on why I had internal resistance to doing things that I know deep down inside and that I even know consciously on the surface level that would be good for me. So, like, why would I resist? And this is this right here is part of that answer. When it comes to us as humans, if we don't get synchronized, where some people say you got to have a balanced life, like you got your work life, you got your personal life, like you got to get balanced. Well, I think what they were trying to say is that you got to get synchronized, where you got to, do things that you want to do. You got to relax. You got to work. Like you got to figure out some sort of balance. The problem with that is that some people like to work a lot, and it would be unbalanced to them if they didn't work a lot. Some people don't like to work a lot, and it would be unbalanced to them if they worked a lot. Some people want to spend more time with their family. Some people don't. And we see that with all different people. So this is the secret that I came, that came to me, that really made a difference in my life, that allowed me to, number one, lower the resistance that I had internally to do things, and then to be able to move forward in my life. But first, before I get to that, I want to play this other video that's going to show you synchronization. It's going to be a person talking, and you're going to see how synchronization works on a human level. Okay, before I get to the next video, though, let me tell you something. The individual, his name is Tom Vu. Just in case you don't know who Tom Vu is, back in the early 80s, there was a boom, like how y'all have the Shopify and Amazon and affiliate marketing and all of that stuff that we have right now. Back then, when I was in my teens at that time, there was the real estate infomercials. They were all over the place. Tom Vu, Carlton Sheets, the other one was Dave Delgado, Ed Beckley. And I remember I got my grandmother to get me one of those real estate courses. So my grandmother sold property that to the city of Dallas that she had inherited from her parents. And the city of Dallas wanted to expand downtown, and she ended up selling off the property. It was in 1984 for over $500,000. It was a little bit more than that. And she actually had her duplex picked up and taken to another city. It was like, that was not a good decision, but my granny, she wanted to do that. But she gave all of her kids $25,000, and then she gave all of us grandchildren $2,500. And one of the things that I asked for, and you had to turn 18 to get that $2,500. Before I turned 18, I was 16 years old at that time. I begged my granny to get my money, a portion of it, because I wanted to buy this real estate program, and it was from Ed Beckley. I think it was Ed Beckley or Buckley, whatever it was. No down payment. It was like $500 and some. She was like, I believe you're going to be something, and if it's ripping you off or not. The crazy thing is that people didn't use the word rip off back then. But it was like, if it's not going to be what you thought it was going to be, at least you would know. That's what my granny did for me. I got the program, and the program was a piece of garbage. It was books, and it was tapes and the big thing and some little manuals and stuff. And it talked about buying real estate. It was like a piece of garbage. But there was, in these seminars and in these infomercials, they used synchronization techniques. And this is where everybody gets to thinking the same way. And there's techniques that people utilize to be able to do that. And so I'm going to show you it being used on people. And then I'm going to show you how to use it on yourself to stop the resistance of you becoming and being and doing and having what you want in your life. So I'm going to move myself over here to make myself smaller, and I'm going to hit play, and then I'm going to come back.
Years ago, I was washing dishes, being busboy, and doing many odd jobs. I know exactly what you feel. It's hard to think like a winner and go out and make millions. But I found a way, my friend. It's very special. You listen to this and you like it. Back then, years ago, I couldn't think like a winner right away, or the whole day. So I start part-time winner. In the morning when you wake up, you put on a coat of success. Now, it's not a real coat now. It's an invisible coat, all right? You put on, and you feel successful in the morning. You walk out of your house, feel like a self-made millionaire, going places in life. And then guess what? Amazing. There's a group of people start forming around me, bring me real estate deal, talk successful to me. Then I figure out, oh man, the winner of the world love a winner. Because they figure out when I get there someday, I'm going to drop lots of business their way. And I did. It's amazing. Try it out. And then you don't have to live with that winner image all the time. When you go home at night, you take off the coat of success, back to your old loser self, being yelled at by your spouse every night.
Now, real quick, just so you know, I don't agree with the part that he just said, get yelled at your spouse at night or whatever. But that could be what some people are going through, and some of you have expressed that on the channel, that you've had certain situations with your spouse, but it really isn't about the way that he said it. A lot of that is the dynamics between what you're actually doing, or if you're just all talk. So I'm going to continue real quick.
You can live a double life for a while, right? Man, until one day, that winner will take over. That winner will be tired of that loser, keep creeping out, and it will say, get the hell out of my life for good. And that day, you become a true success, and you'll be happy. Years ago, I was washing dishes.
Okay, so now, did you see now, think about it this way. If he was just to start talking about buying and selling real estate, go do this, go do that, all of this stuff, do you think he would lose part of the room? No matter what, through stories, just like I gave a story about my granny and what she did, that was a true story. You should never say stuff just to be saying stuff. You should find things that you can talk about. But in that process of telling the story, you are syncing with an individual. And if you've ever tried working with someone and it seems like there's some sort of resistance where you just don't click, this is what we used to call it. Well, what we do call it, we say I'm just not clicking with them. That's because you can't sync with them for some reason or another. From what I've found in my own personal life, is the reasons why you can't sync with someone is because you have not totally identified with who you want to be. All of the videos that I see online and different mentors, they're very good videos, but they never talk about the individual themselves, about what they need to do for themselves. Or if they do, it's more about surface stuff. So let me tell you what I learned, and you can consider utilizing this information I'm about to give you, because this is what helped me to be able to get what I got. And it also stopped me from doing everything, because we can't do everything that comes at us. It allowed me to be able to say no when I needed to say no, allowed me to be able to say yes when I needed to say yes, but even more importantly, it allowed me to be the person who I wanted to be without question. To be the person who I wanted to be. It gave me more time, and because that resistance went down, it's like more money came to me. It's like people would just come and I want to do business with you. In the businesses that I'm in, more business started to come in. And some of the times when people are having a hard time with business, they try to think it's all this outside stuff. It's the leads, it's the market is bad, people don't got money, all of these different reasons, when it's really you have some sort of internal resistance that is built up inside of you, that you are not that person. You need to get your foot, you got one foot in the door, one foot out the door, pointed the other direction. So let me give you a suggestion on what you could do to get started. And this is work, and it's going to be a life's work for you, just like it's a life's work for me. But when you start to do this, you're going to see that life is a lot easier. So the first thing that you need to do is you got to design your life. In a previous video, I talked about when I was in my 20s, I'm walking around with a Walkman, which if you don't know what a Walkman is, it was a cassette player, like a mini cassette player. If you don't know what a cassette is, you need to go look and see what a cassette tape was. I recorded my perfect day of work, perfect day of play. So I was with earphones on my head because there was no earbuds and that type of stuff. So I'm taking a chance walking from customer to customer, just playing that. Or when I'm driving in the car, just playing that over and over and over. And I said what I would do from going to sleep to waking up to doing the work to coming home to being with my wife to being with my children, everything. Like, I designed it all. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't have to be perfectly followed, but there's a design to it. There's a design to it. You have a roadmap. And what I started noticing was once I laid that out and I said, okay, this is what I want. And when I started following it, my life got easier. Because I used to, when I first put it together, I was like, okay, I like to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and go to my personal gym. At that time when I made the cassette tape, I didn't have a personal gym. Later, I did have a personal gym. Let me shut this little thing off here. I did have a personal gym. And I remember when my wife built it, she built me 2 different rooms. I had one room that had all of the exercise equipment, the elliptical, the weights, had the treadmill, and in another room that she had made for me, it was just like a cardio room. I had my punching bag stuff in there, and then there was a TV where I would watch the exercise video, and where I would follow the exercise video. Cardio, it was that extreme one from way back in the past. And but I used to be like, I didn't go down it's in my own house and I wasn't making time to go and exercise. And so what I did is I started feeling uncomfortable about what I had designed for myself. And then I started going down there. In the morning, I got up, went in there, and exercised a little bit, and then started with work. Here is something that, other than, number one, getting in better shape, but let me tell you something that happened that I didn't even think about, well, that I didn't even think would happen, is that I had more time. So you might be saying, well, Steve, how did you have more time when you were taking time to go and work out? And I was not waking up earlier to go work out. I was just, because I don't use an alarm clock. When I get up, I get up. And I usually get up about 5:30 in the morning or 6 o'clock. And I would just get dressed and go to the office. Like, I would be in my office sometimes at 6 a.m. or 6:30, depending on, some of the times I've woken up at like 4 o'clock and went to the office and got to the office by like 5:36. So, but I started to notice that I had more time, and I was like, why did I, when I took the time to do something, when I normally wouldn't have taken that time, how do I got more time? And what I believe happened is that I started synchronizing with my own internal design, which made me feel that I had more time in the day. I really can't explain it other than saying it that way. When I would get to work, so I exercise, and I would actually sit in my office, my home office, for a little bit to cool down, because I didn't want to jump in the shower all sweaty, and still hot. So I would cool down for about 20 minutes. I might read a couple of pages out of one of my books, or I would look online and I would look at how the businesses are doing, how many sales maybe came in, how many leads came in. Like, this is the things that I had wrote down. Well, parts about leads and internet, that stuff didn't exist the way when I upgraded my perfect day of work and play. But it was similar, because even back then I would work out and then I would head to work and I would follow up on leads that I had. And that's why I said it doesn't have to be perfect. But what I did is I started to understand is that the more I synchronized with the way that I design my life to be by my own words, by my own writing, it seemed like I had more time. And if you think about it, think about when you're doing something that you love to do you really think about time? And that's what ended up being like the big aha moment to me, was that number one, I wanted to be able to get up in the morning and work out in my own personal gym. So right now, where I'm at now, 2024, I get up in the morning, go sit in my sauna for 30 minutes, and then I'll either, it depends on what day of the week, but I'm either going to do treadmill, bicycle, elliptical, rowing machine, or I'm going to do the weights, or I'm going to do the Bowflex machine, or I'm going to do jump ropes, or I'm going to do with the big medicine ball. Like whatever I do is whatever I do, but the important part of it is that I'm doing what I pictured myself doing. And it seems like it just gives me more time. Like I've gotten, by doing what I put on that paper, and it doesn't have to be perfectly done, but by knowing where I wanted to, what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, how I wanted it to play out, it seems like I have more time. I got more time freedom. I make more money with less resistance, So now, what I want you to do as your exercise is I want you to write down your perfect day of work and play. When you have that written down, I want you to follow it. And then I want you to report back to all of us what, you don't have to tell us your perfect day of work and play. You don't need to, tell us all of that. But what you need to do is you need to report back on how you feel, and do you feel changes coming about in your life? And do you feel like you got more time? Or has your business maybe turned around where your business was slow, and now that you did this, your business is better? Let me tell you another quick story before I close out. I went to the Bucks basketball game last night, and when you become the person you want to be, you will attract people. People will see you as something different. Like people were coming up, and like when I would see people, how you look people and you're like, hello, how you doing? Don't even know them. People were shaking my hand. I remember Damian Lillard. I was sitting in the second row, and I went eye to eye with him, and he was just like pointed right at me. I mean, he could do that to anybody, but he went eye to eye. I looked over at Stan Van Gundy. You might know him. He used to be an NBA coach. Now he's announcing on TNT. Went over to him, said, introduce myself. Can I get a quick picture? He jumped up, quick picture, with a big smile on his face, shook his hand, and he was genuinely like happy. I said that I believe he was a very good coach. And I even asked him, I said, are you going to get back into coaching? He said he don't know yet. So, but another person that I observed was Giannis, that plays for the Bucks, his brother. I do not remember his name, but he was sitting a little bit down from us. He's not on the team anymore. But he was, if he was exuding being himself 100%. If you see him and you see his brother, they are totally different. And I believe that he is the way he is now, rather than holding it in. Like when he was on the sideline with the team, I think that he was told to hold a lot of stuff in. I think now that he's not on the team and he could just be a fan, he could be in the audience, he was who he wanted to be. And that's the big thing, is that when you get to be who you want to be, not that don't do anything to like destroy yourself or hurt other people, but when you get to be who you truly want to be, you start to see that you got, number one, you got more time, you become more creative, you have less resistance, you make more money if money is important to you, or you just make money to be able to do more of the things that you want to do. So do your homework, subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.